What do you think? Waste management will leave us so easily? Will leave us to sleep so peacefully? Certainly not. In the name of civilization, modernization, industrialization, urbanization, the accumulation of waste is also drastically increasing, and we cannot but talk about this. So let's continue with our waste management impact, effects of waste accumulation on terrestrial life on the land, both animals as well as plants. Now, the effects of waste accumulation on terrestrial life, the first thing we shall talk about is the different types of leaf injuries. I think in standard 9 you have studied them in detail. Decrease in transpiration, again for the plants, reduction in photosynthesis, biological nitrogen fixation. Fluorides cause bone lesions in domestic animals, reduce milk production in animals. Presence of cadmium is harmful for earthworms. In fact, the effects are numerous. We have just highlighted few. Now, in this context, if effects of waste accumulation was on terrestrial life, there is a particular effect was on the fish. Okay, or by eating the fish, different type of diseases on human being. This is known as the Minamata disease. Minamata disease. What is Minamata? Well, this is not at all Indian word. Okay, Minamata is a Japanese word. Okay, Minamata is a coastal town in Japan. A vinyl chloride factory used to discharge effluents with methyl mercury into the sea. Mercury is very harmful, which can break the barrier between blood cells and nerve cells. It can cause brain, nerve, and kidney damages too. Some fishermen fell ill due to the consumption of mercury contaminated fish caught in Minamata Bay. Note, Minamata Bay is around Japan. Mercury contaminated water also called several bird species. Now, since the killing of birds and the fishermen getting, huge amount number of fishermen getting ill, this phenomena took place or broke out in the Bay of Minamata. In Minamata Bay, the disease is known as the Minamata disease. In simple, since this epidemic broke out in Minamata Bay, the illness caused hence is called the Minamata disease. Children, this is at least I know 1 mark question is quite common in the ICC exam. What is Minamata disease? Obviously, what is the cause, and of course where were the effects. It can be 1 mark to 3 marks questions. Depletion of ozone layer, you heard very clear, very well. You are quite well aware that our ozone layer is getting depleting day by day. The present statistics reveals that the ozone layer has decreased about 50% near north and south poles, by 4% over Australia and New Zealand, and over 3% over Indian subcontinent. You must be wondering then what happened with Africa and Americas. Well, let us talk about our zone. It is mostly we are talking concerning about the southeast zone. Now recently a hole is detected over Antarctica. The extreme low temperature, they say, is the major reason in this region to be the responsible factor for the creation of this hole. The temperature is extremely cold. It is minus 80 degrees Celsius around. Once again, I remind you, in standard 9, you have studied in detail how in what happens in the extreme low temperature, and then there is no pollution, there is nothing absolutely, and still it is so surprisingly Antarctica, over Antarctica, the hole is detected. Causes of the depletion of ozone hole. One of the major causes, we say the man-made cause, of course, that is CFCs, or called the chlorofluorocarbons. The excessive release of CFC is a major threat to ozone layer, means the depletion of the ozone layer. CFC comprises chlorine, fluorine and carbon atoms. They are emitted to the atmosphere. The main sources are refrigerators, air conditioners, is short form we call ACs, fire extinguishing fluids, spray cans, body spray and etc., propellants, etc. So please children, you remember what are the sources of the emission of CFC into the air. The first two most important sources are obviously the refrigerators and the air conditioners. Last point, the intense ultraviolet rays split the CFC. CFC comprising carbon, chlorine, fluorine. So the ultraviolet rays of the sun coming in the form of insolation, that splits this chlorofluorocarbons into chlorine, fluorine and carbon. Now, the chlorine atoms when combines with oxygen can convert O3 ozone to O2 oxygen. The chlorine of the CFC when broken by the ultraviolet rays of the sun can combine with oxygen and can convert the ozone O3 to O2. Pollution by air traffic is another cause of the ozone layer depletion. The emittance of nitrogen oxide by large number of jet aircrafts or supersonic transport aeroplanes may cause ozone depletion. How exactly? You may not require to know at this juncture, but air traffic causes the depletion of the ozone layer from the stratosphere. That point to be noted. Radioactive substances like thorium, uranium also can cause ozone depletion. Nitrogen fertilizers, chlorine, methyl bromide used in the agricultural land is also harmful for ozone layer. Air pollution, based in the air pollution due to smog, the combination of smoke and fog, smog, combination of auto exhausts and sulfur dioxide, the leakage of lethal gas from the Union Carbide factory of Bhopal in Madhya Pradesh have grave harmful impact on the ozone layer depletion too. Now air pollution, one part of the air pollution also is resulted into acid rain. I told you in the previous class how acid rain occurs. Now here you get an explanation. However, in standard 9 you have got a different type of explanation, but they match because the process is the same. The burning coal, wood or petroleum produces sulfur, carbon and nitrogen. The industrial pollution also plays a vital role in the increase of these elements into the air. These elements react with the oxygen of the air and produces respective oxides, namely sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide or nitrogen dioxide. And when they get mixed up with the rainwater, the toxic acid rain is created. And obviously acid rain is toxic. Therefore, it has bad or negative effects. So what are the effects of the acid rain? It destroys forests and crops. Acid rain causes corrosion. Corrosion means the removal or some kind of changing of the color or layer of the top part of any kind of buildings, monuments, statues, bridges, fences, etc. Remember, due to this acid rain, our great Taj Mahal was and rather is being greatly damaged. So government has disapproved quite many factories which were close by Taj Mahal. So they have been banned. Acid rain creates neurological or rather brain related diseases, malfunctioning of brain, etc. etc. Biological fixation, that is for agriculture, is very important for the plants. Biological fixation in the soil is also hampered, and acid rain reduces fertility of soil because the presence of toxic chemicals in the rainwater. And when the rain falls, the rainwater seeps into the soil also changes to toxic. Therefore, it reduces the fertility of the soil. Now, there are some methods of disposal we have already gone through in the previous classes. Now, here I am in side by side making a parallel or kind of comparative studies about the three major methods of disposal. Three major methods of disposal. I want to show you they are how they are relatively they are connected. The three main methods of disposal are segregation, dumping, and composting. Segregation. What is segregation? It is a process of separating wastes into biodegradable, non-biodegradable, and toxic wastes. So simple. Separation, separating into three pockets: biodegradable pocket or box or bin, non-biodegradable, and toxic waste. Now, when you keep these three types of waste in three type of dustbins, those dustbins have got three different or specific color. For instance, biodegradable wastes. For this, we use green colored dustbin. Excuse me. So green colored dustbins are used to collect biodegradable waste comprising vegetable peels, remains of food, fruits, plants, animals, etc., paper, wood, cardboard, leaflets. They are all degradable, biodegradable. The blue colored dustbins. I have tried to show the color whichever dustbin is green color. So green color dustbin, blue color, the blue color dustbin. Blue color dustbins are used for non-biodegradable waste such as plastics, glass, polythene, metal boxes, etc. 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 Red color danger dustbins are used for collecting wastes that are infectious. Such wastes are medical, surgical, pathological wastes. Such type of dustbins are placed before hospitals, nursing homes, clinics, etc. After surgery, after operation, or even the different kind of after the treatment, those pathological as well as like bandages, other things are thrown. They must be thrown in the red colored dustbins to be separated as the toxic wastes. Now dumping. Segregation is separation, rather separating and putting them into three different dustbins. What is dumping? Well, as English says, so says the call in environmental science too. Dumping is just to throw, to dump. We say no, don't dump it here, don't throw it here, or pile up, pile up. Okay, so it is a process by which waste materials are carried to open land and or at the landfill site, normally far away from the city. Though it is the cheapest method of waste disposal because you just simply carry the material and dump it, throw it. So they say, though it is the cheapest method of waste disposal, it is not eco-friendly at all, as it can become the breeding zone for mosquitoes, flies, insects, various kinds of rodents, rats, mice, etc. etc. Dumping is also known as landfill method. Point to be noted, dumping is also known as landfill method. So if you have got segregation, another name of dumping will be landfill. The landfill areas must be sufficiently deep to work for longer period, because landfill means depression gets filled up. So if it is deep enough, so that same field can be used for longer period. They should be centralized to be cost effective. Centralized means not carrying from south to the north. Like suppose you're carrying the landfill areas from Dhanbad, it is called see Dhanbad, Bhuipur, Govindpur areas west. You are bringing where to Jharia side. So it's too far. So maybe it can be in that case the bank mode may be the central place, but it doesn't mean that at the center of the city can be a landfill. That is also to be noted. What is it is meant that the dumping region should be the centralized. Why? Because the transport cost may be the cheap, because it is not a say one day job. It is the job of almost every day. It should be built in the less rainfall zones, otherwise the rainwater will spill all over and it will contaminate the soil, the water, etc. etc. Composting. It is a process through which biodegradable waste like leaves, grass, food waste, remains of fruits, etc., which are allowed to get decomposed by various kinds of microbes and the waste, are then converted to manure. The composting is produced by the actions of the microbes, which degrade carbonic materials into simpler substances in moist, warm, and aerobic environment. Now you have got three different kind of composting that I have placed into your list. Aerobic, okay, aerobic composting. In this process, the waste gets mixed and aerated for decomposition, means air is utilized. Anaerobic composting. In this process, the decomposable waste is converted into soil conditioners to increase the fertility of soil. Vermicomposting is nowadays becoming quite popular, in which not just microbes but macro, that means earthworms. So it is a process in which earthworms are used as aerator, mixer, degrader and stimulator of the soil or waste. So learn this specially in this composting. What is composting? And obviously vermicomposting. And these two different terms: aerobic with the presence of air, and anaerobic with the absence of air. Last and but not the least, let's talk about this one: incineration. Incineration. What is incineration? It is a process in which waste is burned at very high temperature. So burning up waste material, a huge heap of waste, if it is burned, then what happens? It becomes a little small ash. Okay. So incineration. It is a process in which waste is burned at very high temperature. So it has got advantages and disadvantages, means benefits or limitations. Benefits: incinerators kill pathogenic organisms, so toxic material can be uh, controlled. Incineration reduces the volume of waste. I said no, the huge hill or huge heap of some waste can be burnt and their ash can become a very small place. So volume will be reduced. Very useful for the disposal of petroleum, plastics, chemical wastes. The generated heat can be again utilized to produce steam, which can further be utilized to produce electricity. Now, obviously, incineration has limitations. The number one limitation is expensive. In fact, the incineration is a process, it is burnt in a very high temperature. So, high temperature has to be created, and to create high temperature becomes expensive. High maintenance is required because always there should be a danger alert around this. So it may not, so that it may not catch fire around the air. Uh, Incineration is not so eco-friendly as they can create pollution and health hazards. Incinerators consume quite a good amount of energy to produce a high temperature to burn the waste. With these, dear children, I should assure you that we have completed not only the chapter of your waste management but also the entire portion of your ICC board syllabus. I once again remind you that lots of portions from the syllabus have been reduced. So keep a note of it. If you study all, you are never a loser. But if you want to study only what is approved, rather prescribed by the ICC board, then obviously just follow the syllabus, not only in geography but all the subjects. In the next coming videos or classes, whatever, we will be the straightway discussing about various types of questions and answers. And if you also have any queries, please ask us. You can put in the comment box, or you can text me in my WhatsApp number. We'll try our best to give you the answer. Dear children, the pandemic has not yet been over. Lots of talk is still going on. Uh, you know that your final exam may be pushed to later months to occur. So from all angles, we are not yet free, totally free from this pandemic. So do not take it lightly. Take all sort of safety measures. Wear mask if you are out in public. Use sanitizers. Wash your hands every now and then, and obviously keep hygiene and keep social distancing when you are in public or among many people. I pray and hope all of you will keep well, and God bless each and every one of you.